What's going on, Saber ladies? First of all, Saber ladies, Saber dudes and Saber ladies. What's happening? Another episode here at Nerf Herder Customs. Just kidding. This is just me again. Just me again, guys. Um, I was talking to a friend of mine on Facebook group. He wants my collection. And it's always asking me to unload the burden of what I have and go ahead and just give it to him so he can enjoy it. Which I would love to, man. Come buy it. Come buy the collection. We'll have like a walkthrough, and I'm like, this could be yours for the right price. Now, good friend of mine. Always positive. Always complimenting and just all around like a good dude. But a friend of mine, Jasper Daly. You guys probably see him in the groups. This episode's for you, buddy. Because I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do it. I have a few of them. Well, maybe only like 2 of them now. But Rahm Kota is a Jedi that I fell in love with. I've done a few episodes, or a few of these videos on my channel for Star Killer. I've got the Star Killer from the first game, the TFU 1 exposed crystal chamber made from a 2.0, Graphics 2.0 kit. And then I showed off my Saberforge Reliant with the crystal chamber. That's from the promo of the second game. And then I even had the my Graphics, my first custom build ever, which was a TFU2 inspired Graphics kit, which, if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. It's a very fun one to do. I love this saber very much. It's very dear to me. But today, today, it is early. I'm about to go to New Orleans, my old hometown. I live in Alabama, so I'm about 2 hours away from Louisiana, New Orleans area, hour away from Florida. It's not what you think. We're not a bunch of hillbilly hicks. It's beautiful. We're right on the coast. Anyways, I could do a lot of conventions, and I get to work a lot of conventions, and we're about to go to the Big Easy Con. So if anybody's going to Big Easy Con, you see this video, well, it's today, all weekend, but if you see this video, you see my big head running around, stop me, man, say hey to me. I'd love to talk. I love meeting people and sharing the passion in person. This is my only outlet aside from comments on Facebook, but, you know, that goes, you know, only goes so far as to let you know who I am, how I sound, how I feel. You know, text can be, you know, messages and text can be interpreted different ways. I'm more of a personal person anyways. I like to talk one-on-one. We talk. We have a good time. But yeah, back to Rahm Kota. Rahm Kota is one of my favorite Jedi. Got a box here for it. And this is a technique that I used to use, which is like a poly stain. Got a little ding in it, scratched it off, and I was like, oh, now I gotta do the whole area over again. But just a black Rebel logo, carve it in. It's basically a wood burn around it, and then I clean it up as best I can. But for those who do not know, Rahm Kota is General Rahm Kota is well, is it a spoiler? I don't know if it's a spoiler. He's a blind Jedi. Super cool. Like, it's just like another thing that I was like, that's so different and cool. And his lightsaber's different too. One of the first, I know I said the leather wrap on the Reliant was the first that I saw, but one of the first that I really think that like stuck with me was Rahm Kota's lightsaber. It's very well known for, because it doesn't really change much other than maybe an Edo wrap or color scheme. But I loved it, man. I love that lightsaber. It's just the game's cool and Rahm Kota's cool. So this for you, Jasper. I have got some display, like I like to do. Y'all know how I do it. If y'all don't know, get with it, son, man. I don't know how many times I gotta say this. Get with it. I like custom displays. It's part of the fun for me. It's displaying the saber how you like it. So, a little bit of history on the hilt. And again, I know it's not a blade knit. I'm not lining up. We're 4 minutes into this video and you're already bored or something. hurry up and light up that blade, dude. I hear you out there, but I'm not gonna, because this is what I do. Um, History on the hilt. I believe Jordan, from what I gathered, because I got this hilt possibly 2 years ago, maybe three. It's been a while. Um, it's a Saberforge Dissident, but I believe the first person to install it, or the first way it went about, is Jordan Eugene. So Jordan Eugene's videos are no longer available. He was an installer that was around for years, highly regarded in the community. Had a little mishap with whatever's going on in his life, and a big unfortunate group buy with Profi boards that I was in on, and I lost some money on it. I was able to regain about half, but still lost money on the Profi boards. Just a terrible situation all around. But I believe he installed this for a customer, and then that customer ended up selling it. And then Jordan Mall, who oddly enough, I commissioned at one point, he had two of my sabers for about a year and a half, and by that time I was like, this is ridiculous, I need to just learn how to do this stuff, because I wanted to anyways. So I ended up being like, hey man, like, give me my sabers back. I ended up getting them back from him after pleading for a long time. He came through for me, so I kind of feel for him, but at the same time, I mean, what can you do? The guy just did himself wrong, did a lot of people wrong. I think about it all the time. I'm like, I wonder, like, how that situation. I hope everyone got their money back or got some kind of compensation, because it really put a damper on a lot of people in the community, as it should have. It was a terrible, terrible time, and I feel for people who didn't get their property back. It's just awful. It puts a bad name on a lot of people. It puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth. It's just an unfortunate situation all around. And if you're watching this, I hope that you stick through and don't let something like that. I mean, as hard as it is to say, don't let that ruin the hobby for you, because it's just one person. Anyways, I think he got this. It used to have a different leather wrap, and he sold it to a customer, because I remember seeing the video, watching it, had the same specs, same everything, and I was like, it's definitely it. Because I used to watch his videos. I used to watch a lot of Jordan Mall's videos. And I had a lot of fun, because for me, that was my window shopping, my way of looking at other sabers, hearing somebody talk about a saber, not just a video of some dude's hand looking down and lighting it up and being like, that's cool. Somebody actually talking in detail about what they like about it, and everything. And I like to hear that. You know, I'm a visual person. You know, I want to hear and see somebody say, hey, this is cool and this is why. But he installed it. It had a Prism version 4, before Prism 4. And at the time, it was the first Prism I ever had. So, like, I was like, I've got auxiliaries, lockup, and blaster bolts. It's so awesome. And the install was poor. It was very poor. It was battery, piece of foam, board, wrapped up. Speaker was like in a pod that was like the smallest speaker wires I've ever seen. So it came undone. Like, just pulling out, trying to change a font, I pulled out the speaker, and I mean, like, I don't even know what gauge those speakers were. They were tiny, which, you know, is standard. A lot of people use smaller gauge wires for their speakers or their switches, but for it to be the only thing like, that was what held the speaker to the board. It wasn't like in a chassis and the wires were not the thing. Like, that was what anchored the speaker pod in there, was this like tiny little wire. So it snapped naturally. Got a soldering iron, had to fix it, because I was like, I'm not sending this saber off to Jordan to fix, or somebody else to fix, because it'll be gone for Lord knows how long. I've already been wronged. I was like, let's just nut up or shut up. So got a soldering iron, did it, and I was like, I'm a lightsaber god. Once again, I fixed one myself. This has an Anna Biscotti version 4. When the Anna Biscotti version 4 came out, I got a bunch of them, and I threw them in a lot of my sabers, because I was like, it's all I need. Motion sensitivity was great. This was a year before Smooth. Well, no, Smooth Swing was around, but before it was really popular, and before is what I was like, I need it all in all now. So another on the list to upgrade eventually, but for now, I'm happy with it. It's another one of my duelers because it is a Saberforge, so it's fairly solid. I ended up doing the black around here because originally it was all aluminum color, and I was like, something's missing, and I never had it right, and I redid it a couple times. Finally, I just did the black around here, took down some of it around the edge to give it that highlighted detail, redid the little Kota style string wrap, faux switch. I had one of the 12mm faux switches, drilled a hole through it. Well, first I had it glued in so I could have a base because I don't really have a way of drilling it. I don't have a drill press just yet. I need to grab one. It's shocking I don't have one, but I don't really drill that much, surprisingly, into sabers that are like, you know, usually I'm very, very particular and careful with how I drill in, and it's usually like one, and I measure line up 15 times before I actually do it. Aside from the corn horn, I went straight for that, and I was like, I got this one. I was like, lesson learned, that's why you don't do that. But anyways, I drilled it into there, and I got a low profile red, so it's a faux switch. Real switch is underneath, 12 mil, and then my recharge port I hid, because originally this switch section is 2 switches and a recharge port, and to me that's way too much, because you could put your recharge port in here or something. So I think when I redo it, I'm going to relocate the recharge port to in-hilt, because there's all this space, and I've thought about doing a crystal reveal, but I've got too many crystal reveals going on, and it's more time consuming, it's more money, and I can be cheap sometimes. But I don't want to have to break it, because these are glued Saberforge unless you ask for them not to glue them. And Saberforge, man, y'all did some people dirty with those blade plugs. Good lord. Poor Jeff. Hey Jeff, I saw your video. I don't know if you watch my channel or anything like that, buddy, but I sent you a message. I'll buy some of those from you, dude. I can use them, and I just want to help you get back to not, you know, I feel for you. I'm sorry, because I didn't strike out that hardcore. I was on the first run. A friend of mine hooked me up. He was like, hey dude, don't miss it, and I jumped on it. Daniel Spencer, cool dude, really cool dude. Yeah, we ended up trading parts too, so I was fortunate. But back to it, they glue all their sections in, so this is solid. This whole saber's solid, and it's really hard to break it. I've done it before. I did it on my Reliant to get that crystal chamber. You gotta heat it up with a heat gun around the area, and then break it, clean the threads, and then there you go. So let's start her up. This has...
I'll be sure to send your ashes back to Vader.
I love it. No neopixel blade because I'm lazy, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't make a lot of neopixel blades. Very loud. Really loud. Ah. I think that's the last encounter. Can't remember the font maker, but that's the name of the font. Marigor ingot, I love it. It's on a lot of my sabers, I realize. I'm a sucker for the swings. Very loud saber. And this goes to resonance. If you get a good resonance, okay, Sith. It's either the light or maybe the balance. Alright. Let's put that blade in it, because apparently that's what I should do at the very beginning. I sound so salty about that. No, I'm really not. I just think it's funny the way somebody's like, come on, man, quit teasing us. Get with it, buddy. I don't have 14 minutes. Like, dude, I'm sorry, but if you don't have the time to sit down, I mean, this is... Sit down, hang out with me, man. If you don't want to, I get it. That's cool, but... Come on, man. Let's hang out for a couple minutes. Neopixel. Forgot to say, Neopixel. And have like a yellow, like an amber Flashshot Clash. I want original trilogy clashes. Because if you watch A New Hope, and you see Vader and Obi-Wan fighting, every time they clash, it was actually like a yellow clash, depending on which edition you have. I got the Harmy's Despecialized edition, which is a Blu-ray copy, fan-made. They found some kind of like loophole or something like that, to where they were like, if you own the Blu-rays, then you can download this and blah. Some way of doing it, kind of like.
I'll be sure to send your ashes back to Vader.
Kind of like a special edition, like bonus features. Blu-ray quality. None of the like add-ins where Han shoots first or where Vader's like no. It's all how I saw it when I was a kid, and it is glorious. Anyways, next font. Last Encounter. It's got that quick snap pick, his ignition. Like Luke, I got a good pulse going. I dial in my pulse, and that's the kind of pulse that I see. I see it as, it's alive, it's moving with, oh, that looked terrible. It's moving, this energy going through the blade. So, that's how I see it. I don't like it when it's just a light, there's no pulse, which is why I loved the Nanos when they first came out. I was like, oh man, you don't have to do like a flicker, because the flicker was okay. But, look at that. You see it pulsing and breathing. Again, amber. And this is my blade that I made, my first 1-inch. It was much easier to make than a 7/8" blade. It's tricky, but not, obviously, not impossible. And you got some battle damage. Some gashes and scrapes and, very subtle though, not too many of them, which I like. Sometimes I want a huge gash, especially in the Rahm Kota emitters. They usually have like a huge gash or like a slash mark, but I figured let's keep it a little clean. Baragorian Git by Lord Blocko. Again, another one of my favorites. It's on a lot of sabers. Super comfortable. This hilt is comfortable. Oh man, even every aspect. And you're not gonna hit a switch. This blade for dueling is great. You gotta find it, find that switch, which you can, I've seen the ring there from the times of pressing it. It's gotten a little indention, so if you really needed to look at it, you could, but I know exactly where it's at just by feel. So, one more time. So there you go. I love this saber. It's loud. It feels solid to duel with. It's really unfortunate that most Saberforge is frowned upon because of the owner. I know across the board, and now even probably one of their biggest, I wouldn't say supporters, but somebody who looks past the shadiness that sometimes happens, or just lack of respect, really, for from the owner to his customers. Why would you do that, man? Did you not learn anything from the way Ryan Johnson treats his fans? Whoa, zing! Leather wrap is by Defcon Bird once again from eBay. I'm not sure if he has an Etsy store or not, but I've always gotten them from eBay. Strips are really good quality. They're decently priced. Shipping's quick. Dude's awesome. This wrap right here, I know a lot of people will do like a cloth you know, like they'll get like a, almost like a, I don't know what the fabric is, but they'll get that over. I went for another strip. I had a spare strip of Deathcon Birds leather that I flipped, um, wrapped it up. So this is the inside of the leather, so it's a little bit more grippy, kind of almost like suede feeling. And then this is a little two-tone because this is what the leather originally is, right? But I took some sandpaper, you know, not like a heavy crazy grit, but like a, you know, just enough, and I sanded it down to get rid of the finish on it, so it's not so slippery and it feels natural on both sides. It's wrapped. This faux switch that's connected to the 12 mil faux switch in the switch section. This goes through and connects to, so it keeps this wrap from sliding back and forth. And then when I wrapped it all nice and tight, I gave it a little bit of, just a little bit of glue right there. Doesn't hurt. Some people out there are so against glue, but man, if you use glue sparingly, like one drop of glue, like, you know, like a Loctite, boom, in the knot, and we're good. I think I put a little bit right at the bottom to catch it from sliding off and to keep it to where I can open that up, because all I got to do is move this part open, and there's my recharge port, and I just close it back up. So that works out. Alright, I'm gonna show you guys. Normally I'm like, this is the part that I'm like, takes too long and blah blah blah. That's just, sometimes I don't want to do this, but this saber's easy to do. So I hold it, boom, it slides out, and I reused a speaker from I forget what 3D printing company I had it in, because the inner diameter on Saberforge is a little bit smaller than most. And then there's your nano. I'll put a little piece of electrical tape over the connection so it doesn't short for any reasons. And a lot of people will be like, electrical tape over the board, it's ugly, and like, how dare you? And it's like, look, homeboy, it's literally to protect. This isn't, who cares? I see this. This is what, you know what I mean? Like, that little piece of electrical tape over the all of my pads, it's just to protect it from shorting, because it did every now and then, it might hit, because that's a very tight space in there, and these chassis discs are very small, so they don't really hide it that much. I mean, it sits on top of the battery. I mean, look, there is not much space in there, so it's just a little extra protection for myself, make me feel better. And I had a little bit of the craft tape around the speaker, just enough to keep it tight in there, because I mean, that's tight in there. And once again, once I did that, made my speaker section tight in the chassis, and the sound just went through the roof. It went from, because I was always like, man, this Saber's quiet, and I don't really understand why. And then I realized that there's the smallest gap from my speaker in the body. So sound was not just coming out, it was kind of reverberating maybe a little bit in here and dissipating. So once I closed that gap with that little bit of, I believe I got it from the Corbanth LS6. I bought a switch box, and they give you this little tape, and it's so small, so thin, and I can't tell you how useful this is when it comes to boards. Like, if you want to secure a board, some people use like electrical tape all the way around their board to their chassis, or Velcro, but sometimes you can't Velcro. It's too thick, too big. Oh, that's what she said. No, Benji, this is a family. How many times did I tell you, man? It's a family page. You can't be doing that kind of crap. Sorry, guys, I can't behave. But yeah, sometimes it's just too much. And like 1-2 rounds around that tape around that speaker, close the gap, keeps chassis from rattling around. I mean, it wasn't gonna rattle around anyways, but like, it's just the right amount, and it made the sound just scream. Super comfortable. Whew. Ah, crisp. But there you go. There you have it. Some dings and scrapes. This is one that doesn't get that much love from me, but to be completely honest, when I remember, that sounds so sad. Whenever I remember about it, walk over to that corner of the collection on the other side of the room, because there's sabers scattered all over this room. Like, when I brought my girlfriend in here for the first time, I was like, prepare yourself. I got sabers everywhere. Her kid loves it. He was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, dude, right? If I was your age, I would be like, when do I get to live here? No, I'm kidding. But I enjoy sharing, obviously. Yeah, when I walk over there, I'm like, man, I forget about how awesome that Rahm Kota Saber is. Hate all you want. Hate all you want on Saberforge. I understand. I get it. But, I mean, look at that. I dig it. And the thing is, I got these way long ago. I mean, I can't tell you. I think the last thing I bought from Saberforge is a scratching dent. And even then, I mean, I got some stuff that worked out, and I can make some cool things. You know, some stuff I'm like, I didn't really need this many pommels with no vents and no design quality to them whatsoever. They're just like little circular aluminum things. But I don't hate the sabers that I have from them. They're not my most high quality ones. They're not my favorite ones, but I don't hate them. It sucks, you know. It sucks that that the company isn't as passionate about customer service as they are with designs. I guess that's all I can say. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Jasper, my man, come buy my collection. Come own all of it for the lump sum of $1 million. You know what I'm saying? A little Dr. Evil there. More to come. I have another coda that I'll probably reveal later on. I'd like to redo it. It's an Edo wrap, and to me, I'm always like, there's people are like, that's cool, and I look at all the defects, and I'm like, man, I didn't do the best job wrapping that up. Like, I can redo it, but Edo wraps they're not Ezo wraps. They're Edo wraps, man. They're difficult wraps, especially on a circular, because you do an Edo wrap, it's like an oval on a samurai sword. You actually have something, but when you're circular, it's a little bit hard to line those diamonds up. But you do it right, and it looks great. So I'd like to redo it someday, revisit it. But again, I've got too many projects on the bench, so that'll be another time. Thank you guys for sticking in. I know it's another long video. I try to make it short. I mean, we're 2 minutes shorter, but then again, I've been blabbing on for the last like 5 about random stuff because I can't shut my trap. Anyways, thanks for chiming in, listening. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, may the force be with you.